I'm going to take a deep breath for that.
Yes, let's all pause.
But these are expensive things. For now, it looks like it's going to be about 2.5 crores.
Wow.
And
Many deep breaths.
Many
deep
breaths.
breaths.
You want an app which is transparent. So that is what we identified in EduFund. It has that holistic approach. It is very simple to use. And yeah, so it's the best that we feel.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chasing Dreams with EduFund. My name is Ila, and today I am super excited to be speaking to the parents of our youngest client ever on the EduFund app. They are Vishlesh Kulkarni and Ruchira Shah. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to have you with us today and very eager to hear more about your story and share that with our audience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So the first question that I would like to ask you is, tell me more about the thought process that you had when planning for your now almost 4-year-old Ruby, but who was just a few months old, when you started planning on the EduFund app. What were you thinking?
Whenever we come to know that we are going to be anyone is going to come to know that they're going to be parent, the first thought process that today's parents begin with is investing and investing in the future, the child's future. But for us, it was always the first priority was education. So, there are people with different goals, like someone to, have a side, holiday goals here. So the first priority for us was always education. Because we both have the experiences, our own experiences, where we couldn't pursue certain things because of finances. And we feel, I feel education it's a powerful weapon that can change anything. And I'm a firm believer of higher education. And that is where we identified EduFund. And that was the first, investment that we wanted to start for her. Not her marriage, nothing else, but her education. And I support that completely. And in today's world, in the world of apps, you are trying to look for an app which is very simple, secure, because you also want to, of course, mitigate the risks which are involved. And you want an app which is transparent. Then, you trust and you start investing. So that is what we identified in EduFund. It has that holistic approach. It is very simple to use. And yeah, so it's the best that we feel. And that's why we started investing in EduFund, actually.
Thank you. What has your experience been like, just generally in terms of finding out more about investing, thinking of Ruby's future education as a concentrated goal for which you need to plan as, obviously a big participating partner in this?
So, nothing is like an individual contribution. It always comes through the support of the family. So the first is I would like to thank my family because they have born and brought me up in a way that I could think independent. My father supported my education because in our culture, I'm not talking about any specific culture, but the background where I come from, girls are not supported so much for the education.
The next question that I want to ask you, which has been on my mind for quite some time, is, so I know that you're looking to procure admission for Ruby's next leg of education, right? And I know that you're even considering moving cities to do so, right? But yeah, what is going through your mind? Because this is a big deal. I mean, you're moving cities, different states. I mean, that's not an easy choice. I know I would have to think many, many times. I mean, talk to me about that.
Our thought process was broadly, if our daughter were to, let's say, get an opportunity to be a part of IIM College, would we not let her go there? And if she required us to be there to support her and maybe move her home there, would we do that? And the answer in both cases was yes. So if we are doing that in the final leg of her education journey, when she's just about to finish education, does it not make sense to just do that when you're beginning with her education?
I think you're moving in the right direction, but back to you, Ruchira, please.
Yeah. So the journey started when I was looking for a good school. So that is the first thing that you start looking for, good institutions that are there. And we being known as an Oxford of East, obviously we were looking for the educational institutions here as well. And I have a habit of listening to TED Talks generally. And that is when I came across one TED Talk and she's the founder of the school. And I really love the concept. And that is when I researched back to their website, and which made me fall into love with the school. Because, the very simple motto of the school is they want to, change the perspective, and they want to have children grow in a way where the child should not be thinking, can I? But simply thinking, I can.
I'm assuming though, because you're doing all of these things, despite she being so young, there are of course expenses to this, right? So how does that all stack up? I mean, talk to me about school fees, talk to me about extracurriculars. You have to plan for these things too now.
The answer to that question is we've sort of created pockets of
Goals, you would say.
Yeah.
Huh.
So like goals, heads of expenses, who spends what. So we sort of give each of us pocket monies that we spend from the money that comes in, and then we try to stick to it. I'll sidestep this a little bit and explain why EduFund makes so much sense. So we have this financial plan in place where we start saving money for each and every different thing. Retirement save this much, for daily expenses save this much, for other kind of holidays and all of that saves this much. We issue, and the good part with money is it is fungible. So tomorrow, even if you have planned it for something, if you feel the urge, you can just take out the money and use it. Right? What has worked really well with EduFund is for almost 3.5, 4 years, it has remained untouched. And the reason is it is a specific pocket that is parked for education, and there is this friction of an alternate app which is there in place. And every time I log in there, and if I have even the desire to touch it, I know this is untouchable. So should not go there, not an area where you can take money from. So I think that works extremely well.
So what next in this journey as parents, and for her, aside from the big move, what are you looking forward to?
We just want to live every moment with her. That's what is the plan. Yeah. And want to, be the backbone in her journey, kind of. So whenever she needs us, we want to be there with her, and we want to provide her the best. That's the goal that every parent, I think, has, and that's a very simple goal even that we have. But I think sometimes when you channelize, or you plan strategically, those things work out pretty well. And that's why app like EduFund is like a blessing for us. For parents like us, I think it's a blessing. And we are happy to be a part of.
So you would have some sort of rough estimate on what Ruby's entire education costs are going to look like. I assume, like a ballpark figure, right? What does that look like? If you don't mind sharing.
I'm going to take a deep breath for that.
Yes, let's all pause.
Yeah, it's so for now it looks like it's going to be about 2.5 crores.
Wow.
Yeah.
From now until she's completing her undergraduate education. So this doesn't even include postgrad, right?
Yeah. And
Many deep breaths.
Many deep breaths. Yeah. The fancy thing is, I've never seen 2.5 crores in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having to have that kind of cash available when you've not even seen it. So it's a difficult. When I stared at that figure for the first time, okay, this is what education is going to cost. I'm like, okay, now this is impossible.
Which one is impossible? The cost of it or reaching the cost?
Reaching it. No, but I think it's small steps. So once you figure out, okay, this is what you're going to need, and it's a hard pill to swallow, but you swallow it, and then you try to figure out what is the way that I can reach it. So that turns out to be bite-sized steps which you can take.
Of course. Yeah. No, and I mean, to your point of bite-sized small steps, that it is realistic, right? I mean, so you follow the SIP model. Every month, this amount gets auto-debited, but it also grows, right? It compounds. And so what happens is you're not having to scramble last minute and say, where do I come up with this huge lump sum amount?
Think about it in this way. As a parent, right? Yeah. You'd want to give to your child that same feeling that, you go live your life. We have collected enough funds for you so that you can just take it and go, and you don't have to worry about us because you're sorted. And I think that should really be the dream for each and every parent.
And any closing thoughts from you, Ruchita, that you would like to share?
So I would like to share, and I would like to tell every parent that education, I think, is the most powerful tool, and save for your child's future and especially your education goal than anything else. And it has power to change people, and people change the world. So that is my motto.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you both for joining us today and taking out the time and sharing your lovely story. And thank you to our audience for listening in today on another episode of Chasing Dreams with EduFund. And I look forward to seeing you in our next few episodes as well. Thank you.